Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to create an AI research assistant that's an expert at analyzing GitHub repositories. This assistant is equipped with a browser API that allows it to analyze repositories in real time, which makes it quite amazing. We can get updated stats such as stars, forks, contributors, the content of the repositories, and a bunch of different stuff all in real time. So I'm going to jump into a Replit demo that I have done and show you how it works. So basically we can invoke it, it will answer us, and we can ask it to, I want to analyze stars, contributors, and forks of a specific repository. In this case, we'll pick the super agent repository. So what it will do now is to basically go into that repository and analyze it. And here we go. So it has 573 forks, 3K stars, 36 contributors. We could start asking it a bunch of different questions. So what languages does this repo use? And it will go in and analyze again and do the same thing. So we can ask a bunch of different questions. We can even have all of this outputted as a structured object, such as a JSON, if we would want to run it as a microservice instead of a chatbot. But in this case, I've focused on the chatbot example. So let's dive into how this thing actually works. So here is my Replit template, and there are some prerequisites, as always, that we need to do. First off, we need to sign up for an account at SuperAgent. So beta.superagent.sh, sign up. And we need to copy our SuperAgent API key, which we get under our settings when we have signed up. And we need to set the SuperAgent API key and the OpenAI API key as Replit secrets. And that looks similar to this. After that, we can jump in and just, as always, run the SuperAgent TypeScript client, which I've done here, and then initiate the client like this. This is the basic way we always initiate the client. And I have a bunch of like helper stuff here in order to create a nice terminal UI. You can disregard these parts, but what's super interesting here is to look at how the agent is actually created. So the first thing we do is to create an LLM. In this case, we'll use the OpenAI LLM, and I'll pass in my OpenAI API key. I have a helper function here called create resource, which basically looks like this, super simple helper function. But what it does is that it, in this case, creates an agent. We call that agent a GitHub researcher and give it a description. We set it to active, and we also give it a prompt. In this case, super simple prompt. You are an expert at researching about GitHub repositories. Start with asking the user which GitHub repository URL they want to research. Yada, yada, yada. We also attach a model to it, and as you see, I've actually attached a GPT 3.5 Turbo, and that's pretty amazing that it works so well, and it's also much cheaper than the GPT-4 model and faster. Next step is to create a tool. As I mentioned in the beginning of this tutorial, we'll create a browser tool, and we will set the type to browser. We will add this flag as false, the return direct flag. I can go into that in a other tutorial what that does. And we need to set a description. In my case, a portal to the internet. Use this when you need to get specific content from a website. And then we attach the LLM and the tool to the agent using this helper function that I've created over here. And then we return the agent ID. So basically all of this is run in the main function here. And in the end, we have a function that we call chat with assistant, which is basically a recursive function that allows us to ask multiple questions without killing the terminal process. And here is the actual invocation of the agent. So in this case, we have an agent ID. We just run the client with the agent invoke method and pass in our user input that we get from the console or terminal, and basically output the prediction that's returned by that model. Here, again, as I mentioned, we can also add what if we would like a structured output, but for this tutorial, I'm just gonna, run it as a simple chatbot. So this is all of the code that we need in order to create this type of experience. And you can run this code in whatever type of environment, stack, or app that you want. We support this through our Python SDK, TypeScript SDK. We even have a community Swift SDK if you're building for the iOS platform. And you can also use the REST API. So this is about it. Now you can tweak this and fork this and run it however you want, and have the research assistant have specific instructions on what you wanted to do. But this is a basic example on how we can use the browser API that ships with SuperAgent without having to create vector embeddings or setting up vector databases and trying to keep those indexes up to date over time. This is one of the main features of the browser API, that it's real time and super fast. All right, happy coding. Thank you.